Howard, thanks very much.
No worries.
Great to understand, first of all, how you got started in this business.
It was about 4 years ago up in the Surrey Hills in Peaslake. Just out riding my bike, I broke my chain up in the hills, and there was a small little shop available for rent. And I thought, do you know what, I'm going to give it a go. Yeah, I mean, basically there was so many guys outside this building. I thought everyone must be having issues with their bikes. So we made an offer on the rent, and started from there. Really.
4 years ago?
Yeah, 4 years ago, yeah.
And you've been here a year now?
Since December the 15th here.
Fantastic. So I assume that business went so well. And
it did. And because the thing is, obviously up in there, we only offered really just small parts, brake pads, tubes, energy bars and gels. Then eventually, obviously, we found out a brand that wasn't in the area, a particular bike brand, and we took it on, and it was a very sort of desired boutique brand, and we became one of their sort of biggest suppliers, really. I mean, the shop over there is probably about 20 foot by 10 foot, so it's tiny.
But
exactly. But
we've
we've become the biggest dealers up there. So I mean, because the thing is, obviously, that shop is located right in the heart of all the hills.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's about 100,000 cyclists that come to that area, a mixture of road and mountain bikes. So it's probably the best sort of shop front really in the country in terms of for having brands, and so it's quite easy for us to sort of approach them and say, look, this is where we are. You interested? And they're like, yes, we are.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So, fantastic.
It's been good.
And so the expansion here, what's that enabled you to do?
Well, I mean, the thing is, we've obviously a much bigger variety of bikes. We've able to go down the road section. I mean, since the Olympics, obviously, that's what everyone's wanting to go into.
Yeah.
But at the moment, we're still obviously known as sort of a high-end mountain bikes. So we're trying to kind of break into the road section, get guys in here and tap into both markets, really.
Fantastic. And has it been your first business, or have you?
It's first business. So it's been tough, but it's exciting. I enjoy it. So.
And how's mixing business with your passion of bikes?
It's all right. The thing is, every time we go out for a ride with all the guys, if anything goes wrong, they always look at me to fix it.
Yeah.
So I can't really know that. That's their time when they're away from work, enjoying the sort of social side of things. But when I'm still working. That's what guys kind of forget, and obviously because it's such a sort of a good community and a close knit, guys sort of message me on Facebook at like 10 o'clock at night. I can never get away from it, never. So I mean, the thing is, I enjoy it, so I can't complain. Yeah.
And so, tell me a bit about what customers of Pedal and Spoke might expect from you guys.
I think guys probably come here for community. I think that's the biggest, from the word go, when I did my sort of little business plan, and that's the main word that was in there. I wanted everyone to feel welcome to come here, feel part of. They can come in here just for a chat. They're not coming in here pressurised into buying anything or whatever. I suppose there's a friendly atmosphere. We sort of do try and include as group rides and things, shop rides that go out from the shops up there. So
fantastic.
Yeah.
And what have you learnt? Maybe one or two things that you've learnt that other people who might be looking to set up a business in Cranley might want to take from you as a quick win.
I think to choose your stock carefully. I think really? Don't overspend. I think that's what.
Really?
Yeah. Because it's difficult. Because obviously, with certain products and things, you need to commit to particular numbers to get better margins. Because obviously, a lot of guys will come in here and say, "Oh, I can find such and such online at 10-20% cheaper."
Yeah.
But obviously, being a small person, we can't kind of compete with those prices unless we commit to certain volumes. But you might commit to those volumes, and then that product sit on the shelf, and then you end up having to discount it, and so it's quite tough. I'll just say to be careful with what brand you pick.
Okay. So the dealers you work with are
this is the thing. I mean, we started off with probably I think maybe 4 mountain bike brands and 3 road brands or so, but I think going into the second year, we're only probably going to do 2 mountain bike brands and probably just 2 road brands. Okay. I think concentrate on what we know and then get known for those brands, rather than, because otherwise I think the shop's just going to be covered in so many, and it's not going to be any passion there about that brand. It's just going to be, well, if you don't like that, buy this. So
of course.
I think people like it if you're enthusiastic and passionate about that brand. So and it's worked on the mountain bike side of things with Santa Cruz. And then I think we want to do that with Scott bikes. So
fantastic. And you mentioned your position originally up in in Peaslake was very important, and how it has been on Cranley High Street. Improved things.
It's good. It's been really good actually. I mean, a lot of guys have come down and sort of supported us and come and seen here. I mean, I think we actually originally looked at a place just down the road, the old Dobbies.
Okay.
Obviously a lot cheaper in terms of rent, but this is not the passing trade. I mean, for us, a location right next to the butchers. I mean, they can get I think they get about 1,500 people in there a week. Right? Obviously all the wives getting in and buying, and the dads want to come in here. Exactly. So it works out really well. Yeah. I mean, obviously, we are paying a price to being right here on the high street, but it's worth it though with the trade. Yeah.
And obviously you couldn't predict a Wigo effect, but
no, I know
it's been pretty fortuitous timing.
Yeah, it has.
And long may that continue.
Yeah, definitely.
Fantastic. And plans for the future?
Maybe go online, I think. Start a bit of an e-commerce business or something, or look at doing importing. I mean, there's so many brands out there, and I think the sport's going to be growing. It'd be quite nice to be, just that guy who has that one product that everyone desires. That's the sort of next aim. Or maybe, pedal and spoke sort of, own brand. So, we'll see. Where we're going.
So it'll be like the next Boardman brand type.
Who knows?
Wagstaff,
yeah, exactly. That'd be the aim.
Fantastic. So, and have you got plans to expand this if you can?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few other things we've been looking at. One thing that's quite big that no one offers around here is bike fit. I mean, when you're out on road bikes, you're sitting in those seats for anywhere from an hour to sort of 4 hours. So it's really important to have a specific setup to you. A lot of guys come in and complain about knee pains or back pains. So Jason's done his cycle fit course, and it's something that we're going to maybe look to offer. So guys come in here, it takes about 2 to 3 hours, but you go through everything from sort of cleat setup, so how you pedal, your feet position, to handlebar, to stem length, to handlebar width, all of this, saddle positions, seat post height. And no one really around here offers it, so that's something we're maybe going to be looking at.
Well, you've got one customer here, because I've spent many hours on the bike and finished with a pain in my neck.
So it's so important. I mean, it's different on the mountain bikes, because you're only probably out for about an hour, and you're always up and down, you're in different positions. You're not in that one position for that whole time. So, as I said, I think it's something that should be quite good, and hopefully that will draw people into the shop, and then obviously they can see the bikes and what we offer.
Okay. And how have you been marketing yourself? Obviously, speaking about the presence here and like other avenues that.
Yeah, I mean, we did take out quite a lot to start with the local papers, the local magazines and things, and then we did some with some sort of direct marketing with online bike magazines. But I found the best and the easiest and the cheapest is social media, Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. I think those are probably the 3 biggest things I use. We've got about 1,500 fans on Facebook, about 700 on Twitter, and about 350 on Instagram. And those are the typical customers I want to target. And I think for like £3 on Facebook, you can boost a post and you can choose who you want to target. So you can choose a single male between 45 to 50. So obviously he's got disposable income. You can pick his activities he likes, and then Facebook will basically just target that customer in a local area. And then they can come onto the page, they can like it, and then the next minute, I mean, prime example on Twitter, I posted up a build that we did. It was a really top end mountain bike build. Guy saw it, sent me a message saying, "Can you build me that bike?" And that cost me nothing. And obviously, when I've just found out, I probably have wasted a lot of money on advertising sort of local. I found it never really generated a lot of business, and it's always difficult to see. I mean, even though you're always going to be offering maybe 10% discount or 5% discount on production of this leaflet, but then you're constantly giving that discount. So and I think we only received one person come in from one and actually brought up that discount. So.
Speaking to other local businesses, they found exactly the same. But it's a lot of cash flow spend for an often unquantifiable return. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, I've got the local radio as well. They're always on the phone, but I mean, for the price of that, and I said to the guys, I said, how can we see who's coming in the door from that advert? And they're like, well, you can't really. I'm like, that's the thing. Whereas on Facebook, you can monitor everything. You can see who's liked your post, who's suddenly joined your Facebook page. You can get an idea of that customer straight away. You can look at everything. You can go on their profile, and you can see what they do on a weekend, and get an idea, and then you can just target them. So it's so much better.
So who is your key demographic? If you have to describe your ideal customer?
I would say between 35 to 50. I suppose, actually, you know, a lot of guys are all self-employed, actually. Yeah, I would say percentage.
Time to go out in the bike.
Yeah, you know, and I think they all run sort of successful businesses and things. And they all seem to be in the kind of the trade industry. A lot of them are like plumbers and painters and decorators and things. I find it really interesting finding what everyone actually does.
Yeah, yeah.
But they all work for themselves. So,
okay.
You know.
And how far do you reach geographically?
This is the thing. Some brands. I mean, we've been sending bikes up to Wales. We've been sending frames to Oxfordshire and things. So it's quite nice. Obviously, guys have been calling up, and because we've built up a name within that particular brand, the Santa Cruz brand.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I have no contact apart from over the phone. A couple of emails. You know, and the thing is, it's quite nice to know because obviously they could go to their local dealer, but they decided to come all the way here, and and so it's all right. We just act as literally a middleman. That's okay. Yeah, it's good. Yeah. But I suppose in terms of like the general kind of customers around here, you know, it's probably up to about Guildford or so.
Oh,
you know,
okay.
That's probably the percentage. Yeah, guys who come here, the sort of high top percent.
Interesting. And have you found Cranley as a place to do business?
Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's completely different, obviously, from PZEC. PZEC's a real kind of because the guys are out there enjoying themselves on the trail. You can sort of have a beer and talk to them. Whereas here, obviously, you're behind the till, and they, you know, obviously they expect sort of a high street service and everything. And I mean, for example, one lady, we actually lent some bikes to David Mann's. For their window display, because she walked past her, saw some bikes in the window. She ran in there, and she got the manager out and went ballistic, saying, "You can't be selling bikes, you know, Pedal and Spoke are our local bike shop and all this." And she came in to tell me this. I've never seen her before in my life. She's never shopped in here, but she was just furious that someone like that, you know. So I think there is quite the sort of villagers want to look after, I think, the local businesses, which is quite nice.
Yeah, I think it's great when you've got small independents.
Yeah.
And people get that sense of community, the word you use, that community.
Yeah, you know, and you know, we're not perfect, we make mistakes, you sometimes forget orders and things, but, you know, everyone's like, you know, it's fine, and they realise that if they buy it from here and something goes wrong, they can pop it in and see us. But if they buy it online, they might save 10% or whatever, but if it goes wrong, you know, they're going to have to come here, they're going to have to pay for it to get fixed, and there's shipping out and everything. So, you know, it's I think people kind of starting to understand. I think they prefer to deal with a face as well than you know, a faceless business online.
I think so.
Yeah,
fantastic. And if there was one thing you could wish for the next 2, 5, 10 years, whatever it might be, what would that be?
I don't know, I suppose. I think maybe another shop. I think.
Really?
Yeah. I think one more shop and a nice online, an online presence, and for just the sport to keep growing, I suppose.
Fantastic. And where would that shop be? Have you got?
Yeah, I'm already thinking.
Have you got actually
Yeah, I have. I think I'd like to go to the small sort of Godalming area. I think, but just like have a small one, not so sort of, you know, high end as these brands and things. I mean, because we've got a brand, obviously, you can see outside the little kids bikes, frog bikes, and they've been amazing. So good, because I mean, everyone kept coming in here and wanting kids bikes, but they were fed up with picking up these really heavy bikes, and these guys spotted a gap in the market, designed something that kids need, you know, just simple things. They only need like just easy grip shift, they don't need big triple rings up at the front, and they've just been flying out.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Carbon fibre kids bike, is it?
Yeah, nearly, because and the funny thing is, they come out, as with most things, exactly the same factory as the Scott bikes.
Yeah.
But yet they're designed for the kids. It's all done on inside leg measurements and things. So, yeah, I think on one weekend, on one day, I think we sold about 10 of them on a Saturday. You know, people just coming in and out because they're just so easy to sell. You know, all they do is they come pick it up and they're all right, we'll have that. Because I suppose 9 times out of 10 the parents end up carrying them around. The kid doesn't really want to ride it. He'll have one little girl on it, and they've got to carry it home. So.
Well, if there's a young dad behind a camera, he might come and buy one.
Yeah, all that as well. So.
Fantastic. Well, perhaps we just finish by giving the name of yourself and the business.
Yeah. It's Howard Wagstaff, and this is Pedal and Spoke in Cranley, and hope to see you soon.